Peter Eliades back with you. This is Thursday, June 4th, Stock Market Cycles Update. A lot to talk about today because there's going to be a lot happening in terms of my updates and the software and everything else. I've been doing these almost daily updates now for, I guess, almost 9 months now. And they have been absolutely free for you folks, I hope, to take advantage of and enjoy. I don't work for free usually. I don't know, do you work for nothing? I don't think very many people do. And this is my work. This is my life's blood. This is what I do. And now that we have the software package ready for you to use as an analyst or investor, I hope you are as excited as we are that we can finally get it into your hands to use. So sometime over the next week, and by the way, this will be the last update for several days now, as I am going to Arizona to have some fun with my grandson, Panayotis, named after me, the anglicized version of that. They had no other way to call it, so they call it Peter. So that's where I got my Peter name. But in Greek, the name is Panayotis. His middle name is Maximos, or in English, Maximus. And his last name, Eliades. And that's the same in, well, actually in Greek, Eliades is pronounced Eliades. So that's all in the realm of unnecessary information for all of you. But sometimes people get interested in it, so I thought I'd pass it along. Anyway, I will be leaving tomorrow before the market closes and be back sometime early next week, probably Tuesday, maybe the middle of the week on Wednesday. But between now and then, and for another maybe day or two next week, we will have this YouTube update on. But sometime next week, we will most likely be transitioning from these daily YouTube updates to updates that are going to be just the same as they've been, except they will be accessible on our website, and you'll be charged for them. And I know some of you will be happy to pay, and I know others of you will say, oh, how dare he charge for these updates and whatever. Anyway, it is what it is, folks. We are going to charge for the updates, and it's going to be reasonable. In fact, for those who have taken advantage of our new software, we have told them as pioneers to the software that they will get a substantial discount for the updates online. And by the way, you also, whether you're interested in it or not, will be able to take a 14-day free trial of the updates on the new website, on the website that will make these updates accessible, okay? So a 14-day, that's 2 weeks free trial that you'll be able to watch the updates there and see if it's something you want to continue with. If it is, then you can subscribe on our new website. If it isn't, then thanks a lot. We really appreciate your loyalty and your watching for the past 8 or 9 months. And who knows, you may come back from time to time. Anyway, that's the way it's going to be. That's the way we've got it set up. That's what we plan to do. The plans are not completely finished as yet, but probably sometime next week, maybe by the end of the week, we will be transitioning from these YouTube updates to the updates we're going to do on the website, which you will be paying for. And by the way, we will continue, I should emphasize, to do YouTube updates. They'll just be maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, in fairness to the people that are paying for the daily updates. So we're not going to completely stop the YouTube updates, but they will be sparse, few, and over, as I said, a couple of weeks, maybe one, at the most 2 updates every couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, something like that. So we will continue to do them and give you probably longer-term pictures for the stock market. Okay, that's the background picture. So again, remember, will be the last update until going into next week. I don't know when we'll be back. My wife is in Arizona already. I'm flying there tomorrow. We're going to drive back together, probably back on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. And that will be the next update whenever I get back and have some time to look at the charts and put things together. Okay, let's get to the market. I showed you a couple of short-term channels yesterday that I claimed I stole from my buddy Bob Prechter and Stephen Hutchberg. Actually, this was Bob Prechter's chart himself. He put out a special report. If you can show other people's work in this business, as long as you give them attribution. I have tried to make it a very strict policy. Anytime I showed any idea from any other analyst, that I would give that analyst attribution, say, this is from XYZ, and let people know that indeed it is not my own original work. And I would have hoped over the past half century almost that other people would do that to me. Some of them are nice enough to do that. Others are not. Others take my work and either show it without attribution or claim it's their own, even worse. So, I showed you a couple of channels yesterday. Now, look at this channel that I discovered myself over the past couple of days. I'm showing it to you on a daily chart right here, and then we're going to look at an hourly chart. I love to look at the micro things to see if they match up very closely. So here's how you get this channel. You go from the top of May 1st, I believe. No, yes, it's May 1st right here at 29.54.13, and you draw a line to the all-time high on November 19th, make that February 19th of 2020, at 33.93.52. This is the S&P cash, okay? And let me show you something, too, because I'm exacting when it comes to trend lines and channels. So look at the numbers. If I click on this trend line, it will show you. See the beginning price, 29.54.13. I mean, to the 100th of a point. Let's go in and show you what the high was there. Here's the high that day. 29.54.13. To the 100th of a point, this trend line has been placed exactly, precisely on that particular high on May 1st, okay? And the end line is the end date, February 19th, with a price of 33.93.52. Let's take a look at that. This is February 19th. Right here, the high, 33.93.52. So this is not just a carelessly drawn line that goes, well, close to this top, close to that top. No, it's precise to those two highs. And then what you do is you draw a parallel line going to the Christmas low of 2018. That low is 23.46.58. Let's take a look at the trend line and see where it begins. Begin price, 23.46. Oh, I cheated on this one, 57. It's 1 penny off. I think you'll forgive me for that. So 23.46.57 when the low is 23.46.58. But watch this. Look what's happened in the last few days. Let's zoom in on this. Now, I shouldn't say the last few days because remember, this one is the daily chart. I'm going to show you the hourly chart in a minute. You can't get much closer than that, okay? This is yesterday's high. Came right up to yesterday's high. So, on a technical basis, if you use these channels for anything, one of the things it's nice to use them with, if you want to use them for trading, whether it be swing trading, intraday trading, whatever, is you could take a position at a trend line like this and say, this is going to be my stop, maybe whatever. If you can use it precisely on the trend line, if it gets above it, or 0.5%, 1%, 0.25%, whatever you want your risk to be. So this is what happened with this trend line. And this is, again, on the hourly chart, okay? So I wanted to be sure to show that to you. And this is my own channel. It's not the borrowed channels that I took from Prechter yesterday. So the fact that we've come up to it from underneath is an indication that there may be some kind of resistance here. Remember, we have significantly higher projections. I keep repeating that because it's important. So for you to think that, whoa, this could be a very major high, can we rule that out? No. I mean, this is a technical indicator that says, hey, you've come up to what could be a very important lower channel line from underneath after breaking it very decisively. So it's a point of interest, okay? Let's call it that. If you want, we can take a quick look at the hourly trend line in the same way. It's going to be a longer chart. Watch this. This is the same channel, okay? Notice how it expands to go along with the differences in scaling. But that's the Christmas low, that low you're looking at right there. This is where the channel begins. This should be May 1st right up here. Indeed it is, right there. So the channel is drawn initially from the May 1st high to the all-time high on February 19th, right here, okay? And then you parallel it down to the Christmas low of 2018, right there. And then you follow it forward. Mind you, this is an hourly chart. My hourlies are 65 minutes long. But look at this. Here's the channel I showed you yesterday, the Prechter channel. Here's the long-term channel that we drew over the last day or two. We can zoom in on that too. It's always fun to zoom in on these things, okay? So the channel that I drew, just by a tiny bit, missed getting up there, but it hit the Prechter channel exactly right here. And in fact, the two channel lines met right about here, one period away from where the top has been so far, okay? So this is worth looking at. Am I saying this is the top, jump in, short? No. For the wise guy the other day that said, you had people shorting, or you said it was. No. I don't have people shorting anywhere. I don't recall ever giving an instruction to sell short or to go long. I give you the best analysis I can in terms of what I'm looking at in the market. Okay, with that being said, let's take a look at some projections here. This is the Dow. I don't know why I left this one up here, but this is a weekly chart of the Dow, and just to show you that there are significantly higher projections outstanding, okay? So, but the one we want to look at today that is quite interesting is the NASDAQ 100. Here's the NASDAQ 100, and look at this. Let's take a look at the offset. It's a 5-week offset, nominal 10-week projection, and look where we are, folks. In fact, I don't know how many people have told you this, or whether you heard it in the media today, CNBC, Fox Financial, whatever. But today, this high on the NDX, 97.41.97, compared to the all-time high, 97.36.57, is a new all-time high on the NASDAQ. Who would have believed it down here? And how foolish did you think I might have looked back here when this projection was generated, saying we were going back here? Way back here, okay? And this week right here. This is back in mid-April, with a long way to go up to the projection. And here we are, hitting that projection. So that's the 5-week offset. Now here's what's interesting. Watch this. We're going to go to a 20-week offset. Look what happened here. So it missed by a little bit on the downside. It doesn't too often do that, but it missed on the downside. Called for a 64.92, and we only got down to a low of around 79.13. So it fell short on that downside projection. You knew that just based on this projection window when we went back above the offset line and validated the projection. But look what happened. We now had a new projection. This is 20-week offset, nominal 40-week projection that we've met. So that's interesting, and we can't ignore it. 2 projections have been met on the NASDAQ, the NDX 100. One of them a nominal 40-week upside projection, the other one a nominal 10-week upside projection. Now we should point out that there is still a significantly higher nominal 20-week projection, this one right here. But the fact that two projections have been met, it puts up a little bit of a warning flag to say, be careful around here, because you've met two projections now, and we don't know what's going to happen next. But we may not go straight up to this area, and eventually this projection may even be invalidated. Who knows? It's been an amazing ride. Look at this. Who would have guessed on March 27th, the week ending the 27th, I believe the exact low is on the 23rd, that this would have happened? Now remember what the fundamentals were behind this. This was the whole coronavirus thing that caused this. People will say it caused a decline. I will say the decline was naturally caused because some tops were reached that reached some very important projections. But that's another question. We won't argue that point right now. The fact is we came down to this area. And by the way, we went below this projection, but there are one or two offsets that gave the exact projection down here. We're not going to look at them now. You folks that have the software will be able to find that very quickly and find out that this was almost a perfect downside projection with one of the offsets. So my point is this. We have met with the NASDAQ 100 two weekly offsets, a nominal 10-week and a nominal 40-week projection to the upside. And so that's kind of a little cautionary flag saying, be careful around here. Let's keep a close watch. You put that in association with the chart that I showed you, this daily chart right here. Well, we've come right up to the line. And as I said, I'm not making any recommendations of trading ideas. I'm just saying that when something like this happens, it gives you a good opportunity to put a stop on any position you might take. If you did go short from here, you would not want to be short on a move back above this line from underneath, okay? So that's where we stand. Thanks so much for watching. You still have an opportunity to subscribe to the software through TradeStation. I will hope to remember to put a link underneath the video today that you can do that. I will be away for several days now. Won't be back until Tuesday, and there won't be an update probably till Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. And next week we will be transitioning away from these free daily updates. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you next week sometime.